By virtue of the authority conferred upon me as Vice Chancellor, I constitute this gathering a congregation of the University of Cape Town.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to invite Asanda Lovelo, President of the SRC, to read the university dedication.
At this time of celebration, we, the members of the University of Cape Town, reaffirm our mission to nurture rational and creative thought and free inquiry, to strive for excellence in teaching and research, to educate for life, and to address the challenges of our society. We undertake to advance these ideals in a spirit of freedom and responsibility, and through consultation and debate. We celebrate our benefactors and predecessors, those who have built the fabric and nourished the values of UCT. To those of you who will graduate today, we wish courage, wisdom, and purpose. To those who will leave the university to learn and work elsewhere, may you be sustained by those values which unite us here today and advance them in the world beyond. A love of truth and of learning and of this, our university.
You may be seated. Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. A special word of welcome to our graduandi from the Faculty of Health Sciences, to their mothers, fathers, grandparents, extended family, spouses, lovers, and anybody who might have contributed to paying UCT fees. Welcome to the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences and the academic party in the platform. Graduations are important rite of passage in the life of students. You, our students, have finished what you set out to achieve. In many cases, you have achieved all of this against many odds, personal, social, historical. For this, you and all of those who have accompanied you in this journey deserve congratulations. For the university, graduations are the culmination of our work, the reason why we are here. Graduations constitute the renewal of a cycle of hope and the confirmation of our mission to educate. I always say that the day that I do not have a lump in my throat during the academic procession into the graduation hall, I will quit my job, and I'm still standing. To the academic staff and all of UCT staff supporting teaching and learning and research, thank you for your contribution to the success of this great institution. To the new graduates, your achievements as our students and your success as our alumni keeps all of us going and reaffirms our commitment to our work. Enjoy the ceremony, celebrate with your families, be proud of yourselves, because we are certainly very, very proud of you. Vice Chancellor, election to a fellowship is a singular honor, recognizing original and significant contributions to knowledge. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for a fellowship of the university Tanya Douglas, Professor of Biomedical Engineering in the Department of Human Biology. Tanya Douglas holds the prestigious South African Research Chair in Biomedical Engineering and Innovation, and also serves as Director of the URC-accredited Medical Imaging Research Unit. Besides her qualifications in electronic and biomedical engineering, she holds an executive MBA from the Graduate School of Business at UCT. For the past 20 years, Professor Douglas' research has focused on major public health problems in South Africa, for which she has developed innovative instruments and techniques for computer-assisted diagnosis. Her work has been published in leading international engineering journals, and her research group is now recognized as one of the world leaders in the analysis of facial morphology. South Africa has one of the highest burdens of tuberculosis, with 1% of the population developing active TB each year. The challenge is early diagnosis, and Professor Douglas has made seminal contributions in automated microscopy for the detection of TB. She's currently building on this work to develop a smartphone application to assess patient response to the tuberculin skin test. Professor Douglas' recent work has emphasized the social context of technological innovation and the importance of end-user engagement. With a new postgraduate program in health innovation, she has created an ecosystem in which biomedical engineering and social context are identifying novel solutions for improved health. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to invite you to award a fellowship of the university to Tanya Douglas. And we keep on celebrating the successes of the university. Vice Chancellor, the University Distinguished Teacher Award is given only once to an individual and recognizes teaching at any or at all levels by a member of the faculty who has made a significant and lasting impression on students. It acknowledges the primary place of teaching and learning in the work of the university and marks sustained excellence in teaching. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for a Distinguished Teacher Award for 2017, Professor Robert Dunn in the Department of Surgery. Following UCT under and postgraduate training, Robert Dunn traveled to London to train further in spine surgery. There, he was exposed to cadaver-based surgical teaching at the Royal College and encouraged to present research at their national meetings. On returning to Groote Hospital in 2001 as UCT joint staff, he developed his passion for postgraduate teaching and training of young orthopedic surgeons. He immediately reorganized the specialist academic program, which generates 4 orthopedic surgical specialists a year. Professor Dan changed the way surgery was traditionally taught to the use of regular cadaver-based labs where trainees are taught complex surgical procedures in a safe environment before attempting on patients. After his appointment as HOD in the Peter Moll and Nuffield Chair in 2012, Professor Dan recognized the need to refocus the undergraduate MBCHB orthopedic training on primary musculoskeletal care. To improve access to learning under his leadership, a YouTube channel, UCT Teach, was created and the exam was changed to an OSCE-based system, which was revolutionary in surgery at the time, testing practical skills and driving learning. Vice Chancellor, I have the honor to invite you to grant a Distinguished Teacher Award for 2007 to Professor Robert Dunn. Now we are going to have an offer from our magnificent School of Music. And we are going to have Climb Every Mountain interpreted for us. That was 1,000 better than the Mother Superior of the movie. The vibrant South African College of Music is a jewel in the crown of the University of Cape Town, which is at the forefront of music making in South Africa and international. The musicians standing there represent that talent. The procession was led by Skal Dadla and Black Roots Marimbas. The national anthem was accompanied on the organ by Alexios Bikatos. Ian Bodma accompanies Sipokasi Molteno, and Ian Coleman accompanies Sipokasi Molteno George in Climbing Every Mountain from The Sound of Music by Rogers and Hammerstein. As I mentioned earlier today in the introduction to this ceremony, the graduations at UCT combine traditions of the European sense of the university with our sense of being an African university. And Imbongi is a composer and an orator of poems of praise. Imbongi offers critical commentary and narrative on the state of society through their Izibongo. Here, to offer a poem of praise, an umbongo, in honor of the graduates, their families, and teachers, is artist and UCT music graduate, Sange M. Welcome her.
This is the time for you to go out there and conquer the world. Lift that flag up high and keep your light shining bright. Kama kunina singondi, kama kunina basali balomlisana nomchinjana. Ufeso lufesile kaloku madoda. Nina ni mabela bonxileyo. Apho zonke sinsana sincela khona. Nifana nomthombo umpompoza amanzi olwazi. Well done. Phambili ngemfundo phambili. Phambili ngemfundo phambili. Ukwanda kwaliwa ngumthakathi. Ndizawagawula ndiwarhuqa. Ephuma kwagabutsi washo umuntu omlambo uthi kumsuthu umjobi. Halala 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 yeah.
Unkosi Mbongi.
The practice of a health profession carries with it a duty to humanity. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to invite all those graduating in the Faculty of Health Sciences today and all health professionals present in the congregation to please stand and join me in making the Health Sciences Declaration. It is on page 50 of your booklet. Those who were not clinically trained are invited to pledge adherence to the provisions in the declaration that do not relate to clinical practice. And you'd have to follow me. I solemnly pledge to serve humanity. My most important considerations will be the health of patients and the health of their communities. I will not permit considerations of age, gender, race, religion, ethnic origin, sexual orientation, disease, disability, or any other factor to adversely affect the care I give to patients. I will uphold human rights and civil liberties to advance health, even under threat. I will engage patients and colleagues as partners in healthcare. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity. I will respect the confidentiality of patients, present or past, living or deceased. I will value research and will be guided by its conduct by the highest ethical standards. I commit myself to lifelong learning. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Thank you.
By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I admit to the degree specified and grant the diploma specified to the candidates recorded as in absentia. I shall now grant the diplomas and admit to the degree specified the candidates to be presented to me.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the Advanced Diploma in Cosmetic Formulation Science, Siyanda Leletu Dukashi. Nolon Waba Lajo. Nadira Isaacs. Nonelwa Mankuntwaiwana. Sisanda Mpungutye. Pelokazi Mtwini. Simbabawe Kabiso Miriam Somlata. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Medicine, Lynn Hazelbus. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Audiology, Bibi Fatima Adat. Amy Claire Alperstein. Widad Bowers. Gabriela Sandra de Souza. Samantha Ferreira. Lauren Chantel Fredericks. Mushfika Khaidin. With distinction, Bielet Hen. Sibongiseni Jezile. Maselesele Magwasha Komana. Khabo Ikangwe Precious Kwaso. Keisha Little. Tobeka Mapumula. to Misho Esther Lebofia Masha. Nomfundo Liki. Maslimo Veronica Makomo. Nombongo Fezizwa Ntwayi. With distinction, Yuvita Ramdat. Fadila Robertson. Clarissa Annette Samuel. Zukila Scott. Senamile Inile Similane. Chanel Singh. Jonathan Paul Stoker. Kathleen Stradom. With distinction, Andri Marike van Onselen. Annika Valloon. With distinction to Wala Anjani Waya Ratne. Thank you. Yonela Zizelo. For the diploma in cosmetic formulation science, Anje Lukoki Ngedi. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy, Farida Ali. Kezia Avanat. Rowan Louise Banks. With distinction, Elmarie Bottas. Hayley Ann Box. Michaela Kutzier. With distinction, Jessica Amy Kutzer. With distinction, Azra Dabilia. With distinction, Emma Francis Dreyer. With distinction, Amy Roseanne Diamond. Dineo Gautsengwe. Alison Justine Hill. Christina Iripes. Catherine Jane Hofmeyer. With distinction, Christine Rebecca Irons. Claire Irene James. Sinead Ellen Johnson. Kim Ashley Jones. Amanda Penelope Kumalo. Lozinyanga Mbali Mabuza. Buhle Guguletu Maseko MacArthur. Jessica Lauren McCallum. Siobhan Teran Moore. Alicia Kivashni Munsami. Fezile Prince Ntuli. Lauren Nybeck. Nkateko Pakula. With distinction, Jade Phillips. With distinction, Taryn Phillips. With distinction, Madison Taryn Quayle. Sarah Jean Reed. Clarine Jamie Lee Samuels. Mbali Spindile Sigwebela. Demi Shannon Southgate. Romana Sultan Hussein. Nambita Chachatsa. Caitlin Ann Ulbricht. Danelle van der Westhuizen. Leila Wakfer. Taylor Wall. Chloe Lee Waltz.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physiotherapy, Delshad Abrahams. Kozad Abrahams. Kirsten Jade Adams. Amy Kate Armstrong. Claire Batchelor. Aisha Benjamin. Danive Laken Blooms. Nika Brand. Liam Bredefeld. With distinction, Karishma Daya. Jane Irene Day. Adil Shabir Adam Isok. Daniela Bianca Farmer. Maxine Lee Farr. Lara Ashley Flood. Taslin Fortain. Kayla Fourie. Infanelo Dafta Godlo. Christine Claire Goliath. With distinction, Karima Ethel Ha. Fahida Harris. Dominique Hassama. With distinction, Mega Lee Hayden. Zian Hendricks. Ashley Justine Haseman. Akila Kemp. Jason Klainsmith. Andrew William Klein. Nwabisa Tia Quinara. With distinction, Bianca Maria Lida. Lohomotsiswe Olerato Lohodu. Kahomotso Comfort Lajapudi. Kathlejo Intombi Letwane. Caitlin Leslie. Robin Shelley Luden. Mzamo Madolo. Sibabelwe Mama. Robin Mazzoni. Zuku David Matkwana. Jenna Martin. Mahlatsi Ella Moshecho. Ratambile Confidence Masoho. Anele Azinho. Catherine Jean Minnie. Chuma Nkiva. Tishepo Cornelius Mochatle. Melabocheng Malatsi Makone. Palani Monamolo. Bongi Nkosi Harvey Maraba. Tyra Murray. Nandi Wela Ndaba. Koreshwani Julius Inkas. Simbo Gusini, Sandali Nkosi. Sindiswa Priti Nobola. Nonkulaleku Siwelile Nkaba. Kylie Ashton Paleman. Pusuletsu Mafetu Pelusa. With distinction, Melissa Janine Reynolds. Tara Page Reuters. Nomtanzo Felicile Sabela. Livona Olivia Samuels. Melissa Celia Schneider. Emma Alexandra Salito. Joseph Murray Smith. With distinction, Jamie Tiffany Smith. Keenan Waven Smith. Cheryl Lee Bianca Solomons. Kamal Soni. Adrian Maria Sewell. Kyla Darian Suter. Victoria Elise, with distinction, sorry, Victoria Alicia Sprout. With distinction, Sinclair Stuma. With distinction, Caroline Michelle Temlet. Courtney Schlapane. Aboengile Nina Twako. With distinction, Frances Ruth Upton. Mohammed Faiz Williams. Nikita Williams. With distinction, Leanne Robin Wilson. Zoe Ziegler. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Speech Language Pathology, Alice Isabella Bednall. Daniela Silva Bolton. Mawada Brown. With distinction, Jacqueline Carla Catterson. With distinction, Natalie Claire Davis. Zara Ismail Dawood. Chelsea Ann Dunn. Sharon Lee Florence. Tyra Gideon. Zuleika Bibi Gulam. Alexandra Grace Green. Jessica Ann Hazel. Clarissa Ho. Celia Louise Huckle. Hannah Judith Winter Human. Ashley Erin Hutchison. Robin Lee Jagger. Mishka Kemp. Tegan Dale King. Mabwaya Charity Mubusela. Analo Maseleni. Ashley Laura McChendry. Molly Helena Louise McMiles. Rory Sang Sharon Mojefe. Sanri Mulman. Mishan Naidu. Andesiwe Bukhle Nkoze. With distinction, Andrea Oleman. Elia Patel. Alexei Neva Rosenberg. Alicia Rathven. Sorry, with distinction, with distinction. Aquila Sassman. Lucy Langalichle Shabalala. Senela Jabulisile Tombisonde Sitole. Alexandra Maria Smuts. With distinction, Georgina Frances Mary Taylor. Shannon Jacqueline Alice White. With distinction, Alexa Wire.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, with distinction in the Basic Sciences and Clinical Sciences and the degree with honors, Jaden Thomas Adams. Christabel Afi Ado. With distinction in the Clinical Sciences and the degree with honors, Nazreen Aku. Amy Chrissy Ellison. With distinction in the Clinical Sciences and the degree with honors, Zachary Ahmad. With distinction in the Basic Sciences and Clinical Sciences and the degree with first-class honors, David Ian Beckwell. With distinction in the Clinical Sciences and the degree with honors, Mukuzo Fortunate Bagula. Loiso Tando Balfour. Kanyisile Constance Bam. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Roxanne Becker. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Nicole Michaela Bell. Unati Ben. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Nithu Penny Fages. Sivulele Bingela. Nomcebo Kuhlasibonge Nosipho Biela. Sahona lofatso litaletu bokhulane. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Emmy Booth. Janine Rouge Brandt. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Katie Grace Brazier. Laura Jane Broderick. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Michael Lance Brombecker. Vajabulile Quineth Nontsikelelo Cele. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Danielle Victoria Chentren. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Sarisha Chetty. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Emily Iona Chetwin. Peter Jr. Farai Chugumadzi. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Precious Chikura. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Tegan Jane Charles Villiers. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Suzanne Clift. Joshua Chris Check. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Suhail Dada. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Kezia Juliet Davidovich. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Tahir Salim Dawood. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Jonathan Day. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Sachin Kumar Dinadayalu. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Kisha Chuguvea. Priyanka Payal Tehalu. Wana Mkomani Tukelodiale. Kelly Andrea Dick. Kristen Joan Johnson. Alessandra Dos Santos. Emma Mabasi Adibayo Edem. Hannah Esak. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Shaheen Esak. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Chaneli Chante Flusk. Taylor Foray. Muhammad Israt Kanti. Justin Lee Govender. Amina Bibi Gafar. Caesar Gusha. Lubaba Lo Guzan. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Shingwen Dimuruimo Alex Guimo. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with honors, Richard Paul Haley Stott. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Shannon Jean Harris. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Michael John Thomas Harrison. Muhammad Amin Hendricks. Wendy Hine. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Michelle Jane Horak. Lara Kathleen Hornby. Matthew Christopher Ho Sao Kang. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Sarah Gabrielle Hive. Avela Jam. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Idris Jasbay. Zinet Tembela Karen Jovela. Gloria Sinovuyo John. Usisiwe Bale Kabane. Samina Kadodia. Daryl Kellerman. Sandisiwe Kema. Siphiwe Nhlanhla Mandisa Keswa. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Hauta Home. Mohammed Ejaz Khan. Takani Korombi. John Tai Kim. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Min Sean Kim. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Matthew John Kukemur. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Shanine Kuveji. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Ndipe Krune. Khadi Clementine Likwati. Lisejo Tumisho Linong. Andrea K. Leroux. Uratile Mule Litebele. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Yifan Joshua Lee. Zara Lockday. Sheila Nansamba Lubega. Nontlantla Patience Lunga. Ayanda Zipozetu Lutul. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Amy Joy McFarlane. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Craig Cameron McKay. Asemahle madlingozi. Bevuya mahamba. Okuhle mhlangeni. Sanokuhle Njabulo Majots. Jayelihle David Makaban. Mulebogeng Lerato Makamedi. Matabo Tuto Makel. Asaf Tabang Makura. Stacy Malan. Madimeja Kamukelo Julius Mamashel. Mafahe Daniel Mangen. Lamche David Mantata. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Samantha Lynn Mashan. Non-Dumiso Grace Masond. Tisani Zelda Lungani Maswangani. Sebenzile Trinity Matenjwa. Lando Kuhle Mavimbele. Nandi Vaduduzile Mayava. Luvo Nation Bob. Dale James McWilliam. Lindokuhle Mdlenyana. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Sinqobile Lihi Themba Mdletshe. Aphiwe Meyiwa. Oyama Fekete. Oyama Fekete. Sambesiwe Katala Mfenyana. Samantha Valentine Mangwan. Netli Upile Minof. Tandani Mlambo. Valerie Mandisa Mlotshwa. Sbusiso Ntambo. Matlogonolo Magomu Mudipane. Nokwazi Moffat. Boitumelo Moloi. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Hasna Mullah. With distinction in the clinical sciences and a degree with honors, Aisha Mullah. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Harun Mullah. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with first-class honors, Siposetu Kanya Munia. Sihle Musehle. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and a degree with honors, Alexandra Francis Mold. Asipile Moyake. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Eliza Moyane. Ziphe zinhle Matsidiso Moyo. Noxolo Ntando Yenkosi Mpangase. Lwazi Zola Mpuku. Carol Naidu. Tosha Yatinraj Naidu. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Yashoden Manadi Naya. Anastasia Caroline Namanyan. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Lamisa Notion. Rowan Robin Nelson. Sezani Nemachema. Luyanda Samoku Ngongom. Promise Ngobeni. Naledi Yolisanka Binde. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Nedima Ruth Ijeoma Kado. Litlohanolo Richard Ntatlap. Siyabonga Excellent Ntuli. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, Efosa Ohomba. Kathleen Joanna Ormsdahl. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Tibello Barbara Palo. Halima Pandey. Muhammad Ali Paka. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, Amy Francis Patterson. Shrida Patha. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Lilibet Perez Montserrat. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, Claire Christine Phillips. Asif Pillay. Queen Lidile Ramuras. Angelique Antoinette Rimley. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Eden Eve Repapis. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Leila Raycliffe. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, Elisheva Sarah Sachs. Yusha Saleh. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Jody Schilder. Kim Kelly Schilder. Sean Skuman. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Lynette Francis Schunz. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Chantel Schroeder. Andre Schwartz. With honors, Zime Nobuhle Shabalala. With distinction in the basic science and clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Stephanie Shaw Ferreira. Tavile Sikade. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Priyanka Singh. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Temrin N. Smith. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Tracy Lee Splinter. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Dylan Victor Stallenberg. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Angelique Juliette Talliard. Lois Munoroi Tarwa. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Tassin Loazi Tayob. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Tenille Julia Thomas. Gloria Kanku Chimbiji. Denga Chitangano. Ongako Pumla Chomela. Mishali Kamani Nande Jilo. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences and the degree with first-class honors, Mishka Ajit Valji. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Simone Claire van der Merwe. Philip Marcel van Niekerk. Mihlali Peter Vezi. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Jonathan Daniel David Watts. With distinction in the clinical sciences and the degree with honors, Ashley Wetherill. With distinction in the clinical sciences, Chad Michael Whittles. With distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, Justine Grace Wooding. Nosipho Cindy Ximba. Philip Michael Joshua Zinn. Nokulunga Fortunate Zulu. For the degree of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery with distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, and for the degree of Master of Science in Medicine in Neuroscience, Kira Michaela Destevald. For the degree of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery with distinction in the basic sciences and clinical sciences, and the degree with first-class honors, and for the degree of Master of Public Health with distinction, Nicola Stephanie Stenhouse.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Chemical Biology for a thesis that uses in vitro evolution methods to create novel, chemically modified DNA aptamers that bind to the candidate biomarkers of tuberculosis disease. Bianca Amos Brown. For a thesis that investigates the molecular basis of the domain-selective inhibition of angiotensin-converting enzymes and its oxidative inactivation by the Cu glygly his lisinopril metallodrug using in vitro and in silico approaches, Lizelle. For a thesis that uses a combination of protein microarrays and mass spectroscopy to identify novel candidate autoantibody biomarkers of colorectal cancer and melanoma that may underpin new point-of-care diagnostic tests for these cancers, Minura Smith. In clinical pharmacology, for a thesis that investigates the efficacy and safety of lithium in treating HIV-associated neurocognitive disorders and identifies novel genetic variants that influence antiretroviral drug concentrations in the cerebral spinal fluid and plasma of HIV-infected Black South Africans, Eric Herman de Clotte. In clinical science and immunology, for a thesis showing that heterologous antibodies acquired from the mother or very early in life, as well as maternal helminth infection, provides protection against MTB infection, Erin Leslie Logan. For a thesis that demonstrates that FOXP3 regulatory T cells require an intact interleukin-4 receptor alpha signaling for survival and maintenance of suppressive functions to effectively control tissue inflammation responses during helminth infection, Nada Abdel Aziz Mohammed Abdel Rahan Ahmed. In emergency medicine, for a thesis which shows that there are multiple interacting factors, such as having pre-existing emergency care qualification that affect academic success in the 4-year emergency care program, Zipiwe Subua. For a thesis that developed the evidence-based modified physiological triage tool 24, a new method for identifying adult patients in need of a life-saving intervention following a major incident and which outperforms existing methods of triage, James Fasalo. In exercise science, for a thesis which shows that a socio-ecological framework of talent development lends additional support to the unique, multifactorial, dynamic, and complex way in which cricket expertise is achieved, particularly in diverse societies, Mary Ann Dove. For his thesis that evaluates the BoxSmart Safe 6 injury prevention program and its effectiveness in youth rugby in South Africa, Nicola Ann Siri. For a thesis which shows that high levels of physical activity and good gross motor skill proficiency are present in preschool children from a disadvantaged rural area in South Africa, Simone Annabella Thomas. In medical biochemistry, for a thesis which shows that when 2 strains of HIV infect South African women, they rapidly become more infectious, and vaccines that target these processes might enhance infectivity depending on the individual. Shatha Omar. In medical virology, for a thesis which shows the composition, diversity, and potential function of genital bacteria of South African women and men, and further identifies specific bacteria associated with human papillomavirus and HIV infections, David Harris Oniwera. In medicine, for a thesis which describes the epidemiology of Streptococcus pyogenes in South Africa and provides novel insights to inform the development of a vaccine currently underway, Dylan Dominic Barth. For a thesis which compares the air spora at different regions in Cape Town to obtain a representative profile of the major allergens for diagnostic testing, immunotherapy, and clinical research, Dilys Melanie Berman. For a thesis which explores the potential benefit of targeting the heart rate as a novel therapeutic approach in acute heart failure, Akila Amandin. For a thesis which shows the genetic susceptibility to rheumatic heart disease in Africans and the sharing of susceptibility genes with other diseases, Babu Muhammad. In neuroscience, for a thesis which focuses on brain imaging in children born infected with HIV and that demonstrates altered connectivity in brain regions involved in social, language, and cognitive development, Jean-Paul Foch. For a thesis which provides novel insight into the long-term, region-specific, early developmental ethanol exposure-induced protein changes in the rat prefrontal cortex and hippocampus using animal models of fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, Patricia Catherine Swart. In occupational therapy, for a thesis which offers a pressing diagnosis of South Africa's post-1994 historically entrenched, neglected, dehumanized, and dehumanizing conditions and conceptualizes practical pointers for humanizing and healing, Franciscus Katrina Wilhelminus Cronenberg. In pediatrics, for a thesis which shows the negative impact of early life environmental exposures from indoor air pollution and environmental tobacco exposure on child health and lung disease, and provides novel epidemiological data which is relevant to other low-income settings, Anessa Vanka. In physiology, for a thesis which uses an integrated omics approach involving whole exome sequencing and a customized tiered filtering strategy to identify genetic variants associated with the risk of musculoskeletal soft tissue injury, Andrea Page Gibbon. For a thesis which uses single muscle fiber contractility techniques to show that weakness in inflammatory muscle disease can be explained by the impaired function of the contractile apparatus of muscle cells, Frank Henning. In psychiatry, for a thesis which shows how theory of change can be used to strengthen the design and evaluation of complex mental health interventions in low and middle income countries, Erica Buer. For a thesis which documents the process of developing, implementing, and evaluating a perinatal psychosocial intervention for depression by lay counselors in Kailichi, South Africa, Memory Nyasha Lynette Monodefwafa. In public health, for a thesis which describes lapses in the health systems as well as socioeconomic challenges that affect TB patients' ability to effectively continue their treatment after discharge from hospital and referral to local clinics, Idris Ibrahim Galon. In surgery, for a thesis which shows it is safe to use HIV-positive organs for transplantation to HIV-positive recipients, despite the previous concern that this was high risk, Elsie Maria Muller.
That was a wonderful ceremony, wasn't it? Well, congratulations. Always wonderful sitting here, seeing graduates walk the stage, and this has been the most exciting graduation ceremony today. And of course, we started with some kind of a problem, like there's too many people in the hall, what are we going to do, and so on and so forth. And I said to my colleagues, you know, there's lots of problems in the world. This one I will ask for. It's a very nice problem. And I'm glad that we were able to accommodate all of you, and you're here in the hall. Congratulations to all the students. Well done on how you celebrate. I mean, from outfits, high heels, dances, and so on and so forth. You've got it all. You're like distinctions, honors, everything. This class has got it all, right? But, you know, I expected everything, but what Korotswani did here, what Korotswani did here was, I have never, Korotswani, seen that kind of vosho. Like going up the stage, you go up with the vosho, you go down. I've never seen it. I actually thought students in the Faculty of Health Sciences wouldn't do that. I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. So, congratulations. And of course, in terms of outfits from the graduates, I don't even want to go to the parents and the friends who are accompanying them. I mean, didn't you think the outfits were amazing? I mean, we had everything. From deep KwaZulu-Natal to the Eastern Cape, everywhere, the continent was well represented. Well done, man. Well done. Okay, now you can see we really produce well-rounded graduates, so congratulations. But congratulations also to our award-winning academics, colleagues. Let me start with Professor Robert Dunn. Professor, congratulations on your Outstanding Teaching Award. You know, we are known for our research, and oftentimes people think we don't care for teaching. So it's always good to celebrate excellent teaching at this university. It is what brings us here. It is what helps us produce outstanding graduates who go out to make amazing things happen out there. So congratulations on your award, and I hope you will continue to share your expertise. Whether you're retiring or not, continue to share it, especially that you're on YouTube. We know that we'll always see your expertise. Well done, well done. And congratulations to Professor Tanya Douglas on being a fellow, now a member of the College of Fellows. You know, Tanya, when you become a member of the College of Fellows, of course, it means you've been upgraded to being an elder of the university. That's what it is. Now you belong to the group of elders of the university. When we don't know what to do, when things are puzzling us, we go to those people and say, how do we do this? This is an academic institution. So tell us, what do you think? So Tanya, congratulations. You are now an elder. And we look up to you for wise counsel when it comes to academic matters. Congratulations. You always make us proud, Tanya. Tanya makes us proud as South Africans. She makes us proud as women. You really, really make us proud. Thank you very much for that. Let me congratulate the Red Brigade, all the graduating students in red gowns. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Okay, so, I mean, I have to congratulate the people in red gowns specifically, because getting a PhD is no easy task. Actually, you actually don't do it alone. There's lots of people who walk with you in this journey. And it takes quite a while. It can be a lonely journey, and here you are, you've completed it. So, and we know, those of us who've done PhDs or live with people who've done PhDs, we know how the PhD can occupy the home. Like suddenly one person is doing a PhD, but PhD is all we hear about in the house, right? Like if they can't do certain things, they're not available for certain things, there's a chapter to write, and there's a PhD to finish, and we cut them some slack, we let them go and do the PhD. So we're doing it with them. And when the children gossip about you, I know because I did the PhD, I know. And sometimes you hear them gossip about you, they're like, Madam PhD. So, you didn't do it alone. I'm sure there are people who helped you do that, and I want to congratulate you, your supervisors, as well as the family members who walked the journey with you. Congratulations on the wonderful achievements. I have to notice, of course, that a few people almost fell on the stairs. we're going to assume that it was excitement. It wasn't the high heels. It wasn't Idibala. It wasn't the high heels. It was because they are excited. Okay. Here's the message when you go out. There's a graduation ceremony happening after this, and there will be another one in April and in June. Tell them, if they buy high heels, they must buy them a week before, and then you practice. I know because I wear high heels. We practice. It doesn't happen naturally. We practice so that you can walk the stairs, but these stairs are very unkind, so I apologize. I hope none of you is hurt. I hope you feel feeling strong, but congratulations. So I congratulated everyone in the red gown, but the fact is that red gown or not, there is no doubt that each one of you has done very well. However, you certainly didn't get here on your own. As brilliant as you are, and as hard as you have worked, you got here through the love and support of the people, many of whom are in this room. They gave birth to you, they raised you, they loved you, they put up with you through adolescence, some of them. They instilled in you their values of hard work, reaching for the stars, and never giving up. In fact, some of them are sitting in this room broke because they paid for you. Isn't it true? I mean, some of them chose to buy a cheaper car because they had to send you stipends that's decent, you know. So you didn't get here on your own. Your families, your friends, and loved ones gave you so much support, both emotionally and materially, during your whole time while studying here at UCT. Now, I want to request you to please stand up. Try to find where your loved one is that you came with here. Raise your blue scroll, wave it towards them in appreciation of the support that they granted you through your journey. Yeah. Fantastic, fantastic. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. Beautiful. We love it. We love it. Okay, but don't sit down yet. Keep standing, guys. Keep standing, keep standing. Keep standing. Let's see, keep standing. Just stand. Okay, just stand. We're looking, I mean, the red gown people don't stand because, you know, but okay, stand up. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay, now, as much as your families paid for you, supported you, and did all the lovely things that you needed to succeed here, you wouldn't have succeeded if the people on stage were not there. These are the academics. They prepared the lectures. Whoa, wait. Let me explain what these people did. These are the people who prepared the lectures. They come to the lecture. Whether they feel like it or not, they're there. They mark your assignments, the bad ones and the good ones. Even when you mean to them, they come back to class the following day. Ladies and gentlemen, please show some love to the academics on stage. I'm looking at you, I'm looking at the people who are going slow, they're like, we don't give shabby things. Do it again, man. These are our stars, man. They give us a good name. Come on. Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. You may be seated. This day signifies a new beginning for each and every one of you. In addition to earning the diplomas and degrees conferred on you today, you have also earned the right to be associated with a very special group of individuals. You can now call yourself alumni of the University of Cape Town. It's wonderful when the students who are becoming medical doctors were coming and they were crying. One of them was saying, I'm a doctor. And I said, yes, he's a doctor, but you're a UCT alumni. Yes. This day marks a wonderful milestone, not only in your lives, but also in the life of the university. So as you walk out of this hall with your degree or your diploma, let me remind you that you will experience uncertainties, risks, dangers, opportunities in the future. But what I want you to consider all of them, good and bad, simply as the raw materials out of which you will fashion your own new worlds. You do not need to be confident about what events might bring, but you do need to be confident in your own capacity to master events and to respond to them with grace and with intelligence, whatever events might occur. During your study here at UCT, we have endeavored to nourish your faith in yourselves. We may not have always been perfect in doing that, but with our imperfections, we have tended to your knowledge and to your vision. We have striven to give you opportunities to experience yourselves as capable and effective human beings. So go out there and take up the challenge to become leaders in your own chosen fields. It will not be easy, because this constantly changing world of ours is not easy. So you will no doubt face insoluble problems, but it is the wish of all of us here on this stage that you may encounter the unimaginable adventures that lie before you with enthusiasm and intelligence, with unfailing self-respect, with moral courage, with the same pleasure and delight that you have displayed during your time studying here at UCT. I wish all of you the strength, the faith, and courage to succeed in everything you do. So go out there, be free, and achieve it. After all, you are a UCT graduate. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, when at 10 to 2 this afternoon, I challenge you to shout louder and be happier than the Faculty of Humanities. I didn't imagine that you were going to do it so well. So congratulations to you all. Now, you are requested to remain standing until the procession leaves the hall. The graduates and their families are invited to enjoy UCT's hospitality in the Leslie Building. Please join the procession as it leaves the hall and proceed to the bottom of the steps as far as University Avenue, please. Now the Vice Chancellor will dissolve the congregation. Please stand up.
Is it working? By virtue of the authority conferred upon me, I hereby dissolve this congregation of the University of Cape Town.